I had been looking forward to the party for days. It wasn't just any party. It was one of those elegant gatherings where everyone dressed to impress, and I thought it would be the perfect night for my wife and me to reconnect. I carefully chose my suit, made sure my hair looked perfect, and even bought her a small gift, hoping it would make her smile. When she came down the stairs, dressed beautifully and looking radiant, I felt a surge of pride. She smiled at me warmly, and I thought everything was perfect. The evening started wonderfully. We danced, laughed, and mingled with friends. I was happy seeing her enjoying herself, and I tried to steal little moments with her, whispering jokes, holding her hand, and making her laugh. Everything seemed fine at first, but as the night wore on, I began to notice something unsettling. She started drifting away from me, spending more time with a man I hadn't met before. At first, I brushed it off, thinking maybe he was just friendly or someone she found interesting to talk to. But there was something in the way she looked at him, a spark I had never seen before, that made my stomach twist. I tried to pull her back into our little bubble, suggesting another dance, complimenting her dress, even leaning in to whisper how beautiful she looked. She smiled at me, but it wasn't the same smile I knew so well. Her laughter carried a thrill that didn't include me. The more I watched, the more I felt the distance grow between us. My excitement and joy began to fade into confusion and unease. Then came the moment that shattered me. I saw her slip out of the living room, laughing, her arm casually around this man. My heart sank. I followed them outside, hoping I was imagining things, hoping it was just a friendly gesture. But when I saw her get into his car and drive off, my world froze. I stood there in disbelief, unable to comprehend that the woman I trusted, the woman I loved, had just chosen someone else over me. The rest of the night was a blur. I wandered the streets alone, trying to make sense of what had just happened. My mind replayed every detail, every laugh, every touch, trying to find a clue that this wasn't real. But the truth was undeniable. My wife had betrayed me in the worst way possible. The next day, I confronted her. At first, she laughed, as if it were some kind of joke or a meaningless mistake. But I could see the truth in her eyes. There was no remorse. She had made her choice, and she was proud of it. Years of trust, shared dreams, and promises made quietly in the corners of our life together meant nothing to her. I felt a wave of anger, sadness, and heartbreak all at once, but beneath it all, there was clarity. I realized that no matter how much I had loved her, I deserved better than someone who could betray me so easily, someone who could turn love into a lie. I spent weeks reflecting on everything, trying to understand why it had happened and what I could learn from it. I realized that the betrayal wasn't just about that night or that man. It was about her choices, her priorities, and the truth about our marriage. Painful as it was, it gave me a new perspective. It showed me my worth, my strength, and the importance of surrounding myself with people who truly care. From that moment on, I made a decision. I would rebuild my life. Not around her, but around myself. I refused to let her actions define me. Slowly, I focused on my happiness, my goals, and my self-respect. The betrayal stayed with me, but it became a lesson rather than a prison. She went home with another man that night, but I went home with clarity, determination, and a sense of self-worth that she could never take away. Sometimes betrayal comes like a storm, leaving destruction in its wake, but it also clears the path for something better, something stronger. That night, I lost the illusion of a perfect marriage, but I found myself, and in the end, that was worth everything.